Welcome to my TPACK development. So let's start off by defining TPACK. TPACK is a technological pedagogical content knowledge. It is a framework to understand the different kinds of knowledge needed by a teacher for an effective pedagogical practice with technology. So this is where it was in mid-October. As you can see, my pedagogy circle was the biggest. I've had a lot of teaching experiences through volunteering and work. I've known my whole life I wanted to be a teacher, so I based everything around it. The second biggest thing was content. Because of my experience as a teacher, I know how to prepare a lesson, but there's still a lot of things that I need to learn, and I'm still continuing to grow in that aspect. The smallest thing for me was technology. However, it's not too small. The reason why that was the smallest was because I don't have a lot of experience in using technology to teach a lesson. The I know how to use technology. I pick up on it really quickly, but it's just smaller because I haven't used any softwares, any apps, or a whiteboard or anything to do a lesson. So these are the modules that help me learn and grow. I'll start with Module 5. Module 5 was about interactive whiteboards. This was the very first step in changing my view and helping me grow. I never really used interactive whiteboards in class. We always had it in high school, but the teachers rarely used it. They only used it to write down questions, so I didn't know what it was capable of. I only found out through this course that the interactive whiteboard is capable of doing so much. It's very effective in active learning. You can have an interactive lesson on the whiteboard itself and have children come up. It is a great visual tool because you can use videos, you can show diagrams on it. Another thing that I found exploring this whiteboard was that it addresses many learners at once. So you could pull up audio things for students who learn best through listening. You can pull up videos for students who learn visually and have students come up and write on the board if they learn by being active. So the second module was the TACK board. It was completely new to me. I have never used it whatsoever. I found that it emphasizes exploration because the apps that we post for our students, they are able to access it and explore the content that they learned. Another thing that I found was that it could be used for all subjects. I chose to explore the subject math, so I brought up a whole bunch of math game apps. But I also saw that it could be used as an art tool, a science tool, and I can't think of any other subjects that can't use this. This is great for ESL students. I myself am an English as a second language student. These apps allow us to learn anywhere, anytime, and any pace. So students struggling with English can use these learning apps or like reading apps to constantly practice their English skills. This pretty much promotes constant learning. The third one was Module 11. It was about the maker movement, and I chose to explore the Raspberry Pi. This was by far the biggest change for me. It was completely an eye-opener. It showed me how much we can do with technology. This is one of the biggest engaging activities that I've explored. It uses old technology to create new ones. It's definitely a substitution for some of the technology we have today. For example, like the iPad. The Raspberry Pi can function just as well as the iPad. It can do videos, it could play games, it could do so much, but it's just a fraction of the cost of an iPad. A class set of Raspberry Pis are the cost of one iPad. This maker movement technology is very inspiring because it allows students to want to learn more about technology. It allows them to want to know more about other things like programming and computing, which will be very beneficial for the future. It's very motivating. So this is where I am today. My pedagogy portion stayed roughly the same. It hasn't grown because the main focus I pursued was in the TCK portion, which is the blending of content and technology. The biggest thing I took away from this course is my knowledge on technology. Throughout this course, I was able to discover different apps, different sites, different programs that will help me enhance my teaching. But since technology grew, my content also grew. Now, with all the technology I know, I can expand the content of my lessons. The material will be a lot more informational because I know how to use these and I know how to give students a very interactive lesson. So this was my journey for my TPACK diagram from the beginning to the end. Thank you for listening.